Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Fairmount Heights Town Meeting for October 16th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Madam Clerk, no, we're supposed to call the roll. We're supposed to do Pledge Allegiance first. This is out of order on the agenda. Please stand for the Pledge Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please? There's no audio online. Okay. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll? Present. Present.
Councilmember St. John. Councilmember Lethbridge. Present. Councilmember Oscar. Councilmember Downing.
Present.
Okay. Thank you. Appears that we have a full council. All right, meeting rules. If anyone would like to speak for public participation, you have 3 minutes to speak. I will accept a motion to adopt the agenda as it is, or if there are any modifications or changes to the agenda, please tell me now. If not, I'll accept the motion to adopt this agenda. Is there a second? A second. All in favor? Aye. All right, approval of minutes. Did everyone get an opportunity to review June, July? It was just June and July, right, Ms. Russell?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did everyone get an opportunity to review June and July's town meeting minutes? I'll accept a motion to approve those meeting minutes. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Presentation. So we have a representative, Mr. Jason Pruden from Congressman Ivy's office to come and speak to us today. Mr. Pruden, please take the stand. Oh, you're not on trial. Please have a seat, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening to you and the members of the council and the citizens of Fairmount Heights. As the mayor stated, my name is Joseph Pruden. I represent Congressman Glenn Ivy, Maryland's 4th District. And I thank you for allowing us a few minutes to make a presentation to the town of Fairmount Heights. Okay, we're better now. If you want me to, I don't need to start on.
No, you don't. Go ahead, sir.
The congressman would like for you to know that he is working hard for the constituents of Maryland's 4th District. Those of us on the staff can attest to that. He is everywhere all the time, and his first priority is our constituency. Over the summer, he brought back to the 4th District funding for anti-gun violence, for electric buses, and for safer streets. And he is working on other funding for other areas throughout, including STEM projects and the technology triangle. I'd like to talk to you about 3 things this evening. The first 2 have to do with your children and your grandchildren. There is a program called the App Challenge. It's a congressional app challenge, and I'll leave flyers behind. This is more for your children, maybe just your grandchildren. They're sitting down in the basement on their computer. You have no clue what they're doing. Many of them are writing programs. Many of them are writing sophisticated applications. We want them to apply to the Congressional App Challenge because it encourages STEM applications, it encourages the technology-based education, and it points out that we have students in the 4th District also who can do these types of inventions, programs, whatever you want to call it. So this challenge is for the students to apply to Congress through their congressmen to submit their applications. They will be judged locally, and then they'll be judged nationally. And there's an opportunity for scholarships, and for most of the students, more important than that, recognition. So we're encouraging all of you to do that. Talk to your children and grandchildren. If you go to the high schools, talk to them there. And go ahead and get them to submit applications. We're bumping up against the deadline, which is October 24th, but there is still time because many of the students have already done their applications. They're just using it for themselves. We want them to submit them now. Let other people look at them also. The second is the Service Academy nominations. West Point, the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Merchant Marine Academy, and the Coast Guard Academy. All of these are populated by nominations. I'll make an exception, but nominations from your member of Congress. The Coast Guard Academy neither requires or accepts nominations from your congressman. They do their own thing for a lot of reasons which aren't that important at the moment. But all of the other academies require nominations. We are encouraging seniors to apply for the academies. We're encouraging juniors to start planning to apply next year. And those who are younger who have already decided to go into the military to start preparing for the applications. We have extended the deadline. These flyers say October 18th. The new deadline is October 31st. The application process is long, but if you come out the other end, what I want the parents to remember and the students is these schools are first and foremost academic institutions. They're highly rated in the country. They're highly rated internationally. And those who graduate from these schools come out with a highly respected degree. And then the other thing to consider is these programs are valued at about $500,000. That's a $500,000 scholarship to a 4-year academic school. Your meals are paid for, your clothing is paid for, your health care and hospitalization if necessary is paid for. You come out of there an athlete, and most of the time you come out with an engineering degree, but they all have 20 to 30 other degree areas that you can pursue. More importantly to me as a parent is you come out of there without a student loan debt. And you have a guaranteed job. Of course, you have to pay it back, but you pay it back by serving in the military for 5 years. So it's a commitment, but at the end of that time, you will have become a leader. You'll be an officer in one of the branches of the service. You have a degree. You'll be an athlete. There's not much more you can ask for out of life at that point, and you're still very, very young. So I encourage you to talk to your students, to talk to your children, your grandchildren, and if they have any interest, file the application. They can always bow out later on, but get the application in, and the congressman has a interview panel that recommends to him the people who should be nominated. All of these things that I'm talking to you about, if you have any questions, you can call the congressman's office. And anyone there will be glad to help you, but I'm going to leave my card here. You can call me also. I'll tell you in advance, I'm not in the office that much, but I do get messages and I do follow up and I do read my email eventually. I can. I will do that also, but I'm going to leave you these flyers, a stack of each of those, so you can, and my card is in there also.
Okay, if you send it electronically, we will post those.
Thank you. I'll take care of that tomorrow. Finally, probably of more interest to the town itself, is there a program called the Community Project Funding Grant Program. If you're wondering what that is, a grant program where members of Congress can submit projects to the House and House Appropriations Committee and ask for funding. This is more like the wild, wild west of grants. There are very few limitations. The grants are determined by a lot of rules that I don't understand, but they're very flexible that I do understand, and they're quick turnaround. So as I've been telling other towns, I will also tell Fairmount Heights, if you have a project or a need in the town that can be resolved by money, please apply to this grant program. You can call our office, ask for Ethan Sweet, or ask for the grants guy. And he's the one expert in this, and he'll guide you through the process. At the moment, we don't have any limitation on how much, how long, how soon, what projects. So, as I said, it's kind of the wild west of grant and funding.
And what was the name of that grant?
I'm sorry?
What was the name of that grant?
The Community Project Funding Grant Program.
Thank you.
Okay. I thank you again, Madam Mayor, members of the council, for allowing me time at your microphone and in your meeting. I know these meetings tend to go long, so I try to be very quick, but if you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them.
Does the council have any questions?
I just got two. It states that you can work on your own or as part of your team for up to 4 students. Does that mean 4 students, like for the same household, or in general, if you wanted to advocate for 4 different students, like to do so?
I only heard part of that. Would you?
So on the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it says you can work on your own or as part of your team of up to 4 students.
That's correct.
Okay, so
That's
it's
correct.
like any 4 students, if you wanted to be a single person advocating for 4 different students for the organization.
And if I remember correctly, individuals and teams are judged separately. So you potentially have a chance to win too.
Okay. And then last thing that you mentioned, a panel, is that panel for the students and parent or advocate, or?
No, the panel I mentioned is, if you apply for one of the service academies, first you apply through the Congressman's website. Those applications come in, and we have a panel of people who are veterans. Most of them have been through a military academy, or they have some expertise in military affairs or experience in military, who interview the students. And out of those interviews, they will make recommendations to the congressman for which ones he should nominate. It's his nomination, so he has the final say, but he leans pretty heavily on the interview panel. Those interviews will be in November.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Coming and speaking.
it. It's my pleasure.
Great evening. We do not have anything for legislative. So we'll go down to reports, police department. Good evening.
Other new kids in the community and all of the agencies who came out and supported the event along with the citizens who wasn't sure what was going on, but did come to participate. So I just wanted to take my hat off and say thank you to everybody three apartment buildings on one side of the street, and those belong to the Santa Fairmount Heights. On the other side of the street is the city of St. Clement.
I believe the Eastern Avenue Park.
East Avenue Park, that's correct. And the young lady who was murdered in her apartment by her kid's father, domestic lady. He was later identified and tracked down by Prince George's County Sheriff's Office, U.S. Marshals Service, in D.C. A few hours later. The mayor died, and members of the police department attended the candlelight vigil on 62nd Avenue, and were welcomed by the family with open arms. I spoke with the Nails family, who is the aunt and the mother of the victim, and they were very grateful for all the support that the town gave in their time of need. Services for the young lady are tomorrow at Union Temple Baptist Church in Southeast. If anybody was interested in going, again, they send thanks to the town of Fairmount Heights for all the support that they have given. We had an incident that started in St. Pleasant on Gregg Street. And for those who may not be familiar, it's the apartments on Gregg Street border the backside of Jefferson Heights Drive, which leads into the town of Fairmount Heights. They had an armed suspect that they were chasing on Gregg Street, and he was on foot, and he eluded them through a fence that leads over to Jefferson Heights, coming towards the town of Fairmount Heights. Our officers heard the incident, responded up to Jefferson Heights. The individual ran up to Boston Tree Place, which is just outside of the town, and ran into a house. Once inside of the house, additional St. Pleasant units and our units knocked on the door to find out what the suspect was, and to their surprise, there was about 15 juveniles in the property. And later found out that the property was an Airbnb with no adult supervision. At that time, the suspect fled out of the back of the unit carrying an AR-15 rifle. Once out of the back door, he ran down into the town, down on J Street, which is, he actually ran to 6107 J Street, which is a couple houses down from Miss Tucker's old house. At that time, he attempted to kick in the back door to get into their unit. Time he was able to kick the door, the units were down there. We made the arrest and recovered the rifle, but he also had a handgun with an extended magazine with 40 rounds inside the magazine. The subject was 15 years old. So we have contacted Airbnb, which is a very difficult situation. We're trying to get any information from them. They stick firmly to their privacy clauses in their contracts and stuff, but Fairmount Heights, St. Pleasant, and Prince George's County Police are all talking with Airbnb, trying to find out who the owner was, because at some point it has to be other accountability. Who would run a house with 15 young adults and let them supervise? So they were doing drugs and drinking and other activities inside of the house. Subject was arrested, taken into custody, and processed, and we were waiting for court dates for that.
Chief, 1 second. Mr. Gray, the echo? Okay, go ahead, Chief.
This week, Fairmount Heights Police Department had made 2 arrests. One of them was a juvenile. Then we had another individual at 5301 Sheriff Road, which is just up in the 24-hour convenience store area. That was a drug arrest. He was taken into custody with no problems. And today, Officer Cargill and Officer Collins arrested a guy who was wanted in D.C. for 2 armed robberies and a domestic assault in the District of Columbia. But he was taken into custody, taken up from off in process. council, maybe. Um, we will participate in the parade and will be present at the football game as well, just so you know. And that's on November the 2nd. We are still waiting on the actual time of the parade. Once I get it, I can forward the information to everybody else who may need it. And the last thing I just wanted to bring up was, I know we got the stop sign, we moved forward a little bit on the stop sign piece, and attorney review, and I believe came back, so everything is in you guys' lap for review and signatures, so we can move forward with the stop sign program, and that's it.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions for the chief from the council? No.
No questions for comment, I'm sorry, these are all home parade that you make ahead of time for?
Yeah, I should probably have it before the week is out.
Yeah, I have the information.
Oh, okay, great. Well, if you can send it to me so we can
Okay.
stop planning accordingly. Also, the Halloween event here, we will adjust our schedule so we at least have at least one officer working during the Halloween event. And on Halloween Day, October the 31st, all of us will be working. We'll be working. I'm not going to put out exactly what, but we'll be out here pretty much all day to make sure that we're patrolling the town and make sure everything is quiet over there on this side.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. All right. Mr. Pinckney, code enforcement? As usual, looking very dapper.
Good evening, Chief Mayor, Council, and citizens of the town of Belmont Heights. This is my report, October 16th, 2024. During this period, I issued 6 silver citations totaling $4,750. We've issued 4 building permits totaling $739.16. We haven't renewed any business licenses. We have issued 5 local licenses totaling $700. We haven't received any vacant building registrations or building lot registrations for these first period. We've issued 1 stop work order for 5471 Addison Road for building repairs. It's required for a deck. Notice of action, corrective actions. During this period, we've issued 15 corrective notices for various code violations. Additional information on September the 24th, 2024, myself alone, Town Manager Mr. Rooney, and Dan Hendricks of the Clean Water Partnership, and their team visited this spot on Eastern Avenue to observe the water conditions in the alley. We also made a visit to the Net Zero home for 60th Place and the ravine to see the newly installed trees. Mr. Dan Kendrick asked for any photos we had of the standing water in the alley off of Ashford Street, and also photos of water conditions at the Net Zero houses prior to the construction. I am still waiting on a meeting with Councilman Downey and the residents of the townhouses on Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Timberlake to discuss the situation at Hamilton's property on Sheriff Road. On October the 3rd, 2024, I went to District Court of Maryland, Prince George's County, and I was told that my trial had been postponed to November the 13th, 2024. On October the 4th, 2024, I spoke with Attorney Jason DeLoach concerning Mr. Hamilton. He suggested that I send him all the current information, last recorded business license, all court correspondence, and violations. He stated that he would check his calendar and we would talk on Monday, 7th. I hadn't heard from him until the 9th. He called me on the 9th of October and asked me to send him all of that information. I sent him the information and he responded saying that the information that our clerk, Mrs. Hodgson, was too light, and he wanted me to send a type of email to say it was in the base section of the citation, and I said that we have copies of that. Both cases were postponed to November 13th at 1:15 in Hyattsville.
She's online. She's online.
Okay. I have those two court dates for November the 13th at 1:15, courtroom 2 on Long Island Avenue. Excuse me. On Monday, October 7th, 2024, I met with Tony Ruffin and Ms. Veronica McTeer, along with Mayor Stewart, Mrs. Jerome, and Mr. Craig to discuss the open house for the net zero homes on December 6th, 2024. In my last report, I reported that the architectural firm Peabody asked our office for suggestions of the placement of the address numbers. Well, today, myself along with project manager Warren Gillis suggested that we place the address numbers on the second post on the left. I also asked about the placement of the mailboxes. I visited the United States Postal Service at MacArthur Heights and spoke to the postmaster, and she stated that boxes on this project must be placed on the curb of the property. While at the property, I spoke with the project manager Warren Gillis. He stated that one of our speed bumps is directly in front of the home's driveway, which is unlawful. He told me that Warren Gillis would remove the speed bump and replace it once the street has been paved and pavement is correct area.
I'm sorry. Repeat that?
Huh?
Repeat that?
Which part?
About the speed hump?
Yeah. One of the speed humps is right in one of the driveways of the net zero properties, and that's illegal. So he would have to remove it and replace it once they pave in the middle of the street.
Okay. But they didn't account for that when they placed the houses there to see that the speed hump, because the speed hump was there before the houses were built.
I don't.
Oh, they were. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The layout was okay.
Okay.
So if
But they said they would replace it
Okay.
and put it back.
replace it and put it back where it is, or
No, because
replace
it
it and
can't
put
be-
it in a different location on the
Put it in a
street?
different location.
Okay, can we confirm that in writing with them?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And this is the email that he had sent, Stephanie had sent concerning we are nearing the completion of the net zero homes. We need to repave and mill the street in front of the homes. To complete this work, we would like to close a portion of the street for 2 days. We realize this can be a significant inconvenience to residents and it would impact trash collection and school buses. She also sent out an email today, and I think we have a telephone conference on Friday as well.
I didn't get that email, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, on Thursday, the 10th of 2024, one of the contracts, 701 58th Avenue, I don't know what, I thought Chief was implementing the report, but he missed. He came to our office to report a robbery of him and his crew at gunpoint. I let him use our phones because the robbers had taken his cell phone, and he called, I guess, 911 and PG County Police. They came, and I guess they assisted. And I also saw another contractor doing a house on 62nd Avenue, and I just suggested that they be more mindful when they're doing construction work, and some of these guys come up on them with their conscience working, and they don't be looking to see if somebody behind them. So they appreciate that. And on Tuesday, the 15th, a water leak I discovered a water leak at 56 and K Street. I informed WSSC and spoke with one of the employees by the name of Taurus. She stated that the valve leak would be repaired in 1 to 2 weeks.
Is the leak coming from a fire hydrant
No,
or
it's
from
coming
underground?
a valve in the street.
Okay,
Right on the corner of 56 and K. Yeah.
and they're gonna take 2 weeks?
That's what she said. I called report. She said I guess one of the neighbors had already called and reported. But she said it would take 1 to 2 weeks before they can repair.
Okay.
She didn't give me the ticket number. Okay. Inspector James Rowley, Fire EMS Department, Office of the Fire Marshal, Fire Service Building. He inspected Super Foods convenience located at 5301 Sheriff Road, Line Code, report. We had like 5 different violations. Did you all get that?
What is it about?
This is the report from Fire Department from
I don't-
convenience store 58.
I didn't receive that.
I mean, Ms. Russell.
I didn't receive it.
And my last thing, the First Baptist Church at Fairmount Heights, they placed a piano out today for the bulk mail pickup. And I talked to Reverend Winchester later today and told him that the town would pick up for this or, you know, a church since they have a commercial track pickup. So they said,
Okay, that was on me. Mrs. Winchester came to the food distribution on Sunday, and they saw the flyer down there and was like, oh, can we put stuff out? I did not know commercial were exempt. I told her, yeah, I mean, up to how many items they said on the flyer. So that was on me.
the public works said it's too heavy.
But they said one of the pianos somebody took, so
Somebody took it?
took one of them, not both.
Oh, they had two?
It was two.
Oh, I just,
It was two.
and that's basically the report.
Thank you, Mr. Pinckney. Does the council have any questions?
Oh, last thing. Oh, now I mentioned that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Pinckney. But going forward, we do need to put on the flyer, it doesn't apply to commercial businesses because I was not aware of that. All right. Mr. Rumi, Town Manager's Report.
Good afternoon, or good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, and staff.
Good evening. We never turned it off.
Okay, I can talk loud. Okay. Mr. Peggy, I want to thank you because many items in my report, you've already given them. Thank you guys for the bulk trash pickup today. I hope everything was well. So, we didn't get a lot of calls, so thank you public for that. We talked about the tour of the net zero housing site Market Circle and the charging stations. We went on a tour to introduce the Green Code representative from Ron Connect here to the staff and to the town. Also, I participated in the 90th anniversary. We met on September 26, 2024. Ms. St. John, do you have another date for our second meeting? If so, let Ms. Russell know so we can get that on the calendar. And thank you. Public Works, I'm glad Mr. Creighton is here in case you have any additions. Grass cutting program for senior citizens, we haven't finished now. I think the last time I gave you a report, it was still warm, it was still raining, so we were still having grass. So happy with your last. Okay, so grass cutting, see, that was a great program there. Thank you. Also, again, I would like to salute former mayor, former council member, for your bicycle rodeo. That was such a great event, and I signed up for bicycle class. Because it's a good social exercise, and he said that they have many seniors, so maybe we can get a group of seniors for exercise and learn how to ride a bicycle like I've got to ride. Also, the staff attended the Green Team meeting, and we're talking more about that in a minute and give you all the great news. And we're going to, Public Works is going to paint a number of storm drains and curves throughout the town. And I mentioned in our report, we were creating official zones to be located throughout the town. So I think we're going to be working a little more on that so we can define the zones and bring that back to the council. The K Street Market Circle Enhancement Project, the alley was paved, solar lights installed. The Fairmount Heights CDC funded the solar lights. The Fairmount Heights CDC is awaiting to install 2 concrete planters. And I think the latest update, Mr. Pinckney and Mr. Corrado, that they should be delivered the next week. We don't have a date yet. In 3 weeks, okay, 3 weeks. And that will look gorgeous. They installed the 3 concrete planters at each end of the alley. And I did submit the narrative and documents to Southwell Corporation for the 2 metal photo plaques and 1 historic marker. We already have 19 historic markers just throughout the town. Okay. I had our first meeting with Pastor Hope of New Abundant Life Church. It's a classified as a historic site. Reverend Holt is requesting assistance with the restoration of the church through Prince George's County Historic Preservation Commission. So on September 18th, Mr. Pinckney, Thomas Gross, our county planner, and Casey Cohen of Park and Planning to discuss funding and upgrading for the church. To study a structural assessment because there seems to be cracking in the foundation. For the next 2 meetings, we will invite Daniel Tanner, he's the grants coordinator for Park and Planning, and Mr. Tanner was responsible for creating our new booklet that outlines historic preservation and how to preserve historic buildings. Mr. Pinckney already talked about Ms. Kendricks and the Clean Water Partnership coming into town to look at areas. If you have standing water in alleys or any area that perhaps we have missed, please send me an email to either I or Mr. Pinckney so we can include that when the Clean Water Partnership come back. The Net Zero Housing Initiative Partnership. Mr. Pinckney's given you a lot in terms of the update. The project's almost finished. However, I think Mayor, Mr. From Pepco, Anthony sent you, I think, a copy of the letter to extend the date because while the project itself is finished, the microgrid and the site and the building to contain that will not be finished until January. And Pepco did put an extension to the Public Service Commission to make that happen. I will continue to work with HIP and others to start planning the ribbon cutting ceremony. And there are a lot of activities that are leading up to preparation of the Net Zero Housing Project and also leading up to other ribbon cutting ceremonies. I sent all of your email today outlining the itinerary. We have a request. The request comes from a request from the Redevelopment Authority. So we're in the limelight a lot. And so I know I'm calling upon the mayor a lot to be present, but this, I don't have a proposed date yet. I will email that to you as soon as I get that, okay? So the proposed schedule at 9 a.m., we will all meet at the Redevelopment Authority, coffee and Net Zero Housing presentation will be done. Then we're gonna board the bus, then we will do the welcome remarks, if you're available that day. And then we'll have the executive director of the Redevelopment Authority. So you get an opportunity to meet with all these people. And we get an opportunity to talk about other ideas and plans for redevelopment or development. Then at 10:30, Fairmount Heights Net Zero Housing Project overview will be given by Stephanie. Then we'll have a question and answer session by Warren Builders, Senior Project Manager, Emaris Ladisi, and Matt Fine, who's the principal architect. Closing, then they'll have our closing comments. So if you can attend, I will update you and let you know the date for this event as soon as I get it back from the Redevelopment Authority. Also, on the DOE, if you notice some of the trees that were planted, we do inventory, and I've taken pictures. Some of the trees died, and they've been already marked, and they've been tagged, so they will be replaced during the month of October and the month of November, and we will have new Christmas tree back there. So I'm sure you'll be planning for a tree lighting ceremony.
Yes, we will be. Councilwoman St. John will be.
Okay. I did request an additional 9 trees to be planted at the Veterans Memorial site. So we'll go with that. And the good news is that Sustainable Maryland certification, I sent all of you. I was so happy that I forgot to attach it yesterday, but I sent all of you to let you know that the Fairmount Heights will be certified Sustainable Maryland certification. And we will be honored at the fall MML opening ceremony. I want to thank the team, Mr. Cradle, can't thank you enough. In the beginning, Mr. Pinckney, Councilman Waiters, I want to thank you for all the hard work, designing of the logo, and all the work that you put in the Green Team. The last time we had a technical difficulty in terms of Ms. Russell being here, but we had our meeting right here in the lobby. We did not miss an opportunity to get our work done. The downside is that we will not be getting the 400 points. We will be getting the 150 points. However, we have projects that we will continue, so we will receive the 400 points. Some of them is the garden. I mean, we've done a community garden before. However, they wanted to see the last 2 years that we've done a community garden. We didn't do that. Some of the other things I asked Ms. Walker about in terms of having Wi-Fi. Well, we said we don't have Wi-Fi. What in town hall we don't have Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi? Huh? No, we have it available to the public. Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, we don't have public Wi-Fi. But those are kinds of things that are green, that save paper that save time. So that's a few of the things. We are going to work on setting up our greenhouses, be able to plant trees. We will be able to plant fruit, edible gardens. So all of these things we hope to get done in January. We'll start moving on in January. And so I put in a request for funding for that. So the members of the Fairmount Heights Green Team include certainly Cradle. It includes John, James, who never miss a meeting, has great insight in terms of things that we can do. It also includes former Councilmember Waiters. It includes Mr. Tim Burley and Mr. Warren Eggleston, who is a resident of the town and a chef. So we did not have time for him to come in. So we're going to do some creative ways to get children involved, to show them how to create menus and how to cook. My grandson is a chef as well. So we're going to have all of that done. So that concludes my report. But I'm so excited about the certification.
Thank you, Mrs. Sarum. Is Councilwoman St. John, you have a question?
A comment. So I'd like to apologize in advance. As everyone can see, we have already had technical difficulties. This is the first time having to do with Mr. Gray here. So we did have a question online from Councilwoman Downing to Mr. Pinckney, but due to the issues we were having, I did lower the volume because it was static. So therefore, even though online is here, we could not hear if anyone online was speaking. So Shirley was trying to get a question out. So if before we go around and get questions from everybody in this panel, can we take her?
Okay, go ahead, Councilwoman Downing, you have the floor.
Nope, not yet.
Wait, is there another question?
No, I have to take it. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't about echo and screen in the background. Councilwoman Downing, can you speak to make sure we can hear you?
Yes, we can hear you. You have the floor.
Everyone, good afternoon, and please forgive me for not being personally in attendance. I am currently enrolled in the Network Planning Academy, and this particular date fell on the same meeting, and it did overrun, so that was the reason why I could not be present. My questions were for Mr. Pinckney. Mr. Pinckney, could I get you to send me a copy of your report? I also wanted to know if, can you speak?
Yes. Yes, he can hear you.
Ms. Pinckney, a copy of your report. Secondly, I noticed that you were saying that you're waiting for a meeting for Mr. Hamilton and the townhomes. During the last meeting, I did inform you that speaking with the residents of the townhome community, we have decided that there is no need to meet with Mr. Hamilton. That Mr. Hamilton has several violations that need to be addressed, and it's really nothing for us to third, please place in your report that several of us did wake up out of our beds at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were in court when you had the hearing for Mr. Hamilton that was rescheduled. One of the things that we noticed while we were sitting there was that attorneys get first preference. So if the town's attorney chooses to, or is hired to represent us in court, they apparently go up and have the judge to give them first preference, so they don't have to sit around and wait. I wanted to ask Susan, when you get an opportunity, can you let us know if Mr. Hamilton has paid his 3 years in taxes? I know, if I'm not mistaken, he was, I think, 3 years behind. And lastly, Mr. Pinckney, has anyone reported the water running down K Street? And it's been running for about a week now.
Yes, I had it in my report.
I couldn't hear him.
He said, yes, he did mention it in a report. A ticket has already been filed with WSSC, and they said it could take up 1 to 2 weeks to repair.
All right, thank you so much. And Mr. Pinckney, when you get a chance, send me a copy of your report via email. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, moving down. Okay. Moving down the agenda, treasurer's report, Ms. Walker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, and staff. I'm reporting for the first quarter of the fiscal year, so as of the end of September. Mayor and Council, when we met for the pre-work session, I did not go over this information. We went over the action items, so I will highlight those. I do want to just bring us up to date on where we are, since we are finished 1 quarter of the fiscal year. So our total revenue budget for this year is $1,156,202.51. As of the end of September, we have received $141,213.44. And everyone in the room, I will make sure that they're copied so you all can see this information as well. We have received our, from general revenue, $47,821.72. General revenue includes our property taxes, our building permits, which you heard Mr. Pinckney mention, our business licenses, and our rental, registrations for vacant lots and vacant dwellings. We also have our intergovernment transfers, and that's money that we receive from outside agencies, so our income taxes, our police aid, state highway user, and then trader's license, anyone who applies for a license, a portion that we get from the county. So for that, we've received $70,846.90. Other revenue, which includes revenue from bulk trash pickup, building hall rentals, parking lot rental, our franchise income that we receive from Verizon as well as Comcast, and then codes and fines that Mr. Pinckney, for any violations that go to court, then we receive that money. And so that portion, we received $18,594.82. And then our police department, $3,950. Expenses for the year, our total budget for expenses is $1,118,196.92. Administration, we have spent $47,215.33. Legislative, we have spent $9,726.60. Municipal, which that covers it becomes the municipal building as well as the grounds and things that we do throughout the town. We've spent $18,588.31. Public safety, that's our police department, $64,422.60. And our public works, $74,977.85, for a total of $214,930.69. So, as every year, the first quarter, we have a deficit. Our deficit is $73,717.25. I say as of every year because I say this each year, that during the summer, that's our hardest time for municipality. That's when we receive the least amount of money from property taxes, least amount of money from income taxes, as well as any other areas that we receive funds. So it's a blessing that we have continued to be to have a net income versus a net loss, because that does allow us to get through our summer months. But that's also why during the summer, as well throughout the whole year, we have to make sure that we're making the best decisions that we can so that we are able to get through the times that we don't have as much money coming in. At the bottom of the report, I always give an update on where we are with our 3 vehicle loans. So the dump truck, that loan will be paid off February 2025. Remaining balance as of the end of September was $5,845.56. That may say 66 cents. For the trash truck, that'll be paid off next year as well in July. Remaining balance is $27,320.04. And then our pickup truck, that will be paid off in 2028. Remaining balance is $33,628.45. We do have several projects that we are in the process of some finalizing, some starting. So I'm not going to go through everything, but I do just want to highlight that, Mayor and Council, we've talked about the Aspen Street, clearing the Aspen Street alley. We also talked about all of the alleys that we have already used highway user funds to clear, and needing to put milling in those areas. Tonight, the gentleman who came from Congressman Ivy's office, we may need to take a look at that opportunity, because that opportunity may be something that we could look at as far as the milling for all of the alleys, as well as Aspen Street, because perhaps we would be able to make those, I don't want to get into whether they're alleys or footpaths, so we can make those areas so that they are no longer areas that we need to maintain as far as cutting grass and removing trees and what have you. In the midst of us trying to address the Aspen Street alley, we had a citizen to contact us and let us know that a tree that's in the 4.4 acres is on her property, is on her shed, and she has requested, rightfully so, that we remove that. So I did reach out to get quotes for that, to have that removed. Every time we seem to take one step, there's something else that comes up, which is why addressing this as a whole project may be a better option versus us trying to constantly address these areas and not get them totally cleaned and have them so that they are hardscaped and we won't continue to have these issues. In the pre-work session, we looked at 10 different options for the LED sign. I want to thank the mayor and council. You all chose option 3. I don't know if we have that visual tonight, but I will be sending you our markup of option 3 with everything that will say Fairmount Heights, and you'll be able to see, you'll be able to see actually how it looks, so that you can really be sure that that's the sign you want. Because once we make that final decision, then it is final. So you will get to see it, but now that the vendor knows which one we want, then we can choose the colors. I'm assuming that we don't want to change the size, but once we see the size, we may need to change the size. I did have Mr. Cradle to measure the sign that's out there now, and that sign is 8 feet by 4 feet. And so the sign would be at least the same size as that sign. If once we see it, if it doesn't meet your approval, then we can go with a larger sign, or if it's too big, we'll go with a smaller sign. So
What was the measurements again?
I think that sign is 8 feet by 4 feet.
And then number 3 was 6 feet by
Yeah, that's
4 feet.
Yeah, that's just what they sent us as far as that type of sign. So we're not locked into that size, but that's the type. So this 8 feet will go this way, and the 4 feet will go this way.
So the number 4 has those exact measurements, 8 feet by 4.
Yeah. And also, they will send us a markup of a replacement sign for the Pocket Park, the sign that was vandalized. We are going with the hardscape sign, so they'll send us a markup for that so that we can get that sign put back in, because the funding required that we have a sign and that we indicate who that park was funded by. So we have to get that sign back in. The speed humps, we are looking at phase 2 of the speed humps, and we talked about this in the very beginning, whether it would be done in 2 phases or 3 phases. It's going to have to be 3 phases. The police department has done an amazing job of making sure that they went through to see where we're having problems, where we have the speeding, where we have unsafe activity going on. But because there are so many areas, we're going to have to do phase 2 and then phase 3. We identified the vendor when we went through the initial bid process. So that piece is taken care of, but where we are now is needing to know where we're going to start so that we won't be all over the town. We won't be disturbing people throughout all of the area. So that's the piece that we're at right now. We applied for a bond and we received that bond, $100,000 for the building renovations. The bathrooms in the basement are finished, and so we are working towards to get the bathrooms up here done, as well as the front door. 3 vendors came out to look at the front door. One vendor, the only vendor that honestly, I think, in my opinion, really responded appropriately, I would say. They did come out, they did all the measurements they need to do, and so they will be able to install the equipment on the outside to allow a person to come in, and equipment on the inside to allow a person to leave out. Again, this is the double doors out here, the glass doors. There's one door that's all red that already has a button. In the process of having that piece, taking a look at that piece, Mrs. Russell and Ms. Hodge have asked about a mag release so that they can release the door without having to come to the door. And we had talked about this before. And so again, I asked all 3 vendors to give us quotes on that. Disappointed that everyone did not respond. One vendor told us that because of the hurricanes that they couldn't respond until about 6 weeks. So we don't have time to wait for 6 weeks, but again, the vendor that did respond gave us information that would allow us to be able to move forward with the doors. And I've asked the contractor to go back and to look at their quote for the bathrooms, because we only have $100,000, so we can't go over that amount. And so we need to stay within that. So I'm asking them to go back, and so trying to negotiate that so that we can get both bathrooms done, the men's room and the women's room, and the front door. If we can't get both done, then we'll have to choose one. We'll have to choose the men or women's, and then we'll have to look at how to get the other one done. And there are several other projects that we're working on that we have not brought closure to. I believe tonight you all are going to formally approve the sea container as well as the sign, because we did talk about that in the pre-work session.
Okay.
As well as, I know Aspen Street, we had talked about approving that as well.
Yes,
And so
that is on the agenda.
we would be doing that tonight, but if we can find outside funding for Aspen Street and for the other areas, my only concern with Aspen Street would be that we did make a promise to the residents that where it backs their property, that we would address this once growing season was over. So if it's okay with you, Mayor, the gentleman who was here said that we could reach out, so
Wild West of grant.
I'd like to reach out and get more information,
Yeah.
because he said there was no time or whatever, so I can get more information. Then I think at that point, we'd be able to make an informed decision versus, just kind of guessing at how things would be.
So do you suggest that we pause on approving the alleyway, project?
I just would like to maybe pause on approving the funding, the use of funding, until we see whether or not
We can
that,
get the
yeah,
grant.
because if the outside funding is an option, then I would like to go that direction. And if we find out that it's next fiscal year or something, or next calendar year, then we would have to stay with our current option, which is to use our highway user funds. And so we would just be able to either next month or do a call meeting to approve it.
Okay. How does the council feel about that? Okay. All right.
All right. And those are the main things I wanted to highlight for tonight.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you, Susan. Are there any questions for Susan before she leaves?
Mhm. No, but so with tonight, we would have been approving to clean it. And what I'm saying is, because we have the opportunity to possibly look at using outside funding to clean that area and to look at doing the milling, let's see if we can use outside funding to do that. Otherwise, to clean the alley is going to be $23,000. And so if we have an opportunity to use that $23,000 somewhere else, because we have other areas within the town that we now need to address. We have sidewalks that are damaged, and that's going to still be our highway user funds we have to use to address. And we have 2 areas that are emergency repairs. So we have things that are happening, and it would be good if we had some additional funding to help with that.
We just renovating the bathrooms. I'm not sure how $100,000 would be sufficient.
We did have $100,000 for the bathrooms in the basement, which already did. Now we still have bathrooms up here and the front door. All 3 things have to be done within that $100,000.
So what's the balance?
It's in the report. I don't have it with me tonight. It's in the report that I gave you all at the pre-work session. I believe we've spent $45,000.
Yeah, I think about
And so we have like
$46,000.
$55,000 left to do the 2 bathrooms as well as the front door. I think the 2 bathrooms are costing us almost the entire $50,000. And it's not a total gut. We're not taking everything out because we can't. We can't afford to do that. To take the floors out, to take the ceiling out, to tile the walls all the way up, to do a full Class A renovation, that would be more than $55,000. So we're doing about a Class B/C renovation. So that would mean that I am asking to redo the floor. I'm not asking to tile the walls all the way up. Also, in the first when we did downstairs, there was a recommendation to use taller partitions, but we weren't able to do that downstairs. We're looking to do that up here, and so that's going to be even more. That costs more money. So I'm getting everything together for us to meet, and we'll look at both options to see how much of that $55,000 we can put into both bathrooms and still leave money for the front door.
And not to mention the pipe repair in the bathroom downstairs.
The pipe repair downstairs, and that's a whole nother issue. And we can't, as far as I know right now, we can't use the bond money for that because we were very specific in what we asked for that money for. And so and it's not an insurance, the insurance won't cover that. So that's something that we will have to cover. And we have, if you recall, I gave you all 3 different options from Michael and Sons. And one option is to replace the pipe completely, which would be the preferred method, because that would take the damaged pipe out, put a new pipe in, and then we have a guarantee that pipe is not patched. The second option would be to patch the pipe that's there. There's no guarantee another area wouldn't be damaged. And then the third option would be to patch and also clean what's in there out, and that's the most unfavorable option, because that really is not going to get us but so far. That just kind of puts a stopgap for where it is. And all 3 of those are expensive. So
we have a lot going on, which is again why it's so important that we make good choices in everything that we do. And let me just say this: I'm not probably out of order, but for the ARPA funds, the money that we still have, everything has been allocated. But in our last meeting, and I want to say it was our town meeting, we had concerns expressed about public safety and about making sure that we are putting our resources towards safety. And tonight, the chief told us a lot about what's happening right here in the town. One of the things that I've talked to you all about kind of in pieces would be to look at any funds that we have not yet put under contract, putting those funds towards public safety so that we have money available to expand our public safety reach and to expand our public safety resources. Because there are some things that we can't use that money for, even though we need to do them. There's some things we can't use that money for. So I may or may not be before you again to ask about that, but after the last meeting, that was one of the things that I feel that citizens are asking for would be more emphasis on public safety.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions for Susan? Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you, Susan. So now we're going to go down to mayor and council reports. I will, so council reports are basically your liaison reports, not what you do individually, but what you do as under your liaison. So I'll start with Councilwoman Downing. Would you like to go first, please? Okay. Councilman Oscar? And you are the liaison. Tell what your liaison you are.
Councilmember Oscar, liaison for youth affairs and veterans and youth affairs. I cannot overemphasize how important that library activities are for the kids in the community, and I'd like to strongly encourage.
I'm sorry, Oscar, they can't hear you. Mr. Gray, is his mic on? It's on. You're going to have to pull it closer to you, Oscar, maybe.
I'd like to strongly encourage them to attend most of the activities that they have during the course of the week. Some of the activities that I would highlight or I would highly recommend are Ready to Read story time for mostly ages between 3 to 5 years, community book walk, coffee and classic, and finally the teen zone which is, I think this one is really a good one because it's kind of like an after school program where most of the kids can go to the library and enjoy fun activities that include video games, arts and crafts, and other things to keep them engaged instead of being on the streets after school. On the 26th, we have something, or at least have the plaza decorated, and if we can have a function that definitely have something to commemorate the day of the veterans. So if we have anything that we have veterans of course we have veterans in the town, but definitely when we have to show the appreciation for service, and by doing that we want to have the plaza reflect that appreciation. That's all I got.
So for Veterans Day, we have a week as well?
Not really. We
No.
don't do refund veterans.
Okay, thank you. Did anybody have any other questions? Councilwoman Leftwich?
Okay, good evening, everyone. There are just a couple things,
Don't forget to announce
as the,
I'm sorry, don't forget to announce your
I was,
liaison.
I was getting ready to, thank you. I am over, capital improvement, project planning, and, economic development. And, there are just two areas I just wanted to touch on, although I have not scheduled the next economic development meeting. I have been, listening to the concerns and, the overwhelming need for programming. And there was one previously slated program that was a residential repair program, which did not really move, but there is still the ARPA funding. So, and with what the, our treasurer was mentioning, that if we do not slate it for the police department, I wanted to actually offer a suggestion to the mayor and council, and that would be to do another like utility assistance program or something that could directly impact our citizens. I did review the information from the previous program, and I think that with a few modifications, I think that that would actually work again, and that's at the pleasure of the mayor and council. And also, I have been reviewing the information since we have been suggested to become a FY25 project charge for Maryland National Park and Planning Commission. And if the mayor and council decides that this is something that they would like to do, we would need to, as a body, actually generate a proposed scope of work with the programming that would benefit the town. Now, the FY project charge is actually to seek partnership with county citizens, provide comprehensive park and recreation programs, facilities, and services which respond to the changing needs within our communities. They also have to preserve, enhance, and protect open spaces to enrich the quality of life for the present and future generations in a safe and secure environment. So if this is something that the mayor and council would like to do, we would have to work on this possibly at the next work session, since the period of performance is actually ongoing right now for all project charges, which run from July 1st, this past July 1st, 2024 through June 30 of 2025. I think this is a very unique opportunity that was presented by Councilmember Ivy for the town to actually build up our programming portfolio. And it's actually as simple as we just say, yes, we want to do that, and then prepare a scope of work for our projected programs going into 2025. This is for youth, this is for seniors, whoever is going to be overseeing the seniors. It's a collaborative effort that I think is very beneficial. I believe that's all for now. This concludes my report.
Thank you. I already said yes to it, so Mr. Romy is supposed to be working on a scope of work for that. Okay.
Okay.
Councilwoman St. John?
One, Kamisha St. John, council member for communications, public relations. Right now, I want to start off with talking about the new equipment that you guys are currently seeing. So partner with IT and our treasurer, Susan, to be able to get this nice piece of equipment here. This actually is more so reserved for us to be able to do community engagements and hosting and things like that. So we're still currently partnering with something much better to eliminate the microphones and have a nice setup up here as well. So that'll be coming soon. But looking at the technology that we have so far, I think despite the kinks that we've had trying to partner with Mr. Gray's system, I think we can say it's a much better improvement than we've had thus far. So look forward to, thank you.
We look forward to seeing even more enhancements with the new technology that'll still be coming soon, and you guys will eventually see this equipment downstairs used for more type of other meetings, movie nights, and things like that. Aside from that, I am also, as Ms. Saromi mentioned, working on the 90th anniversary of the town, so we did recently have a meeting. In that meeting, we were able to kind of get a little bit further as far as trying to secure a location, breaking down what those committees will look like, were amongst a few of those things. We had 6 people in attendance, still looking to grow that, so if you guys would like to find out how you can be a part of that and be able to have some sort of contribution to that, please reach out. We are looking for as many people as possible to assist with this and be able to join us. Also, I attended the Ethics Board meeting for the month of September, where we sat to discuss just the reshaping of getting things in order. Everyone knows kind of what it looked like when we tried to do this several months ago, so just trying to get all of those things in order, and we have more meetings and lots of work to progress with, but we made lots of progress there. I also attended the bike rodeo. Former mayor, former council member, beautiful event. I attended with my son. He got a bike. He made friends. It was great. He wants to do it every month right now. He keeps asking me. So very, very successful. The vendors that were there, the food that was there, lovely. So we look forward to seeing how we can help you enhance that next year. And then in addition to that, well, I can't understand my handwriting right there, focused on the strategic priorities. So I mentioned in a few meetings ago that I kind of wanted to structure and come up with a format for what communication should look like. So hopefully to have that roll out soon in January, but that's going to consist of things currently like our town newsletter, new resident packages for new residents, what type of communication they get when they get here. The survey, currently working on a survey for communications, making sure that all of our residents are reached in the manner and methods that they would like. Also trying to get some type of communication technology programs where people can come in, learn how to get emails, Wi-Fi's, things like that. So lots of things that I'd like to roll up under this and be able to have a committee to help me do that. So when I'm not working on these other things, I'm constantly getting those things in order. And that will conclude my report because I think you guys talked about the events. Yes, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman St. John. Just one question.
Yep.
When do we expect to have the audio system set up in here?
We're ready. They had a couple questions for the vendor on the equipment. Other than that, I think they told us it would take them 3 weeks. Once we sign the contract, it would take them 3 weeks.
That's what I'm telling
So
you.
how close are we to signing the contract? 2 weeks out? A month?
We probably don't want to do that 20 days. Feedback on some questions.
All right, thank you for the update. All right, Councilwoman Barnhart, Vice Chair Barnhart.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rakesha Barnhart, Liaison of the Department of Public Works. My report is going to be short. The stripping of the floors, the stripping and selacking of the floors in the basement has been completed. I did see on Sunday a few things that need to be touched up downstairs. The ceiling tiles upstairs has been replaced as well. We still have a little bit more to do upstairs. Upstairs will be stripping and selacking of the floors up here and repairing the carpet. So we're working on that project. The Public Works Department has been near the library where residents has complained about bushes, blind spots in the areas, so they've been in that location as well, cutting down a lot of bushes and over there with the blind spots as well. They have they continue to power wash the building, front and back of the building, and will be painting of the rails. Like Ms. Rumi said in her report, they will be continue doing the painting of the streets and the sewer drains and zoning off areas. The food drive continues to be the first and the second of each and every month. Also, the residents that may be online that may still have bulk trash in front of your house, Public Works will be out tomorrow morning picking up the rest of the bulk trash that's out there in the community so we can take that to the dump and continue on with our, resume with our regular schedule. That's the end of my report. What?
Concerning in front of the building,
What?
you want to put
Oh, that's next month.
Yes. Councilwoman St. John?
Rentals, are they back officially in effect?
We-
Okay, so no for right now, okay.
I think we're holding off on full rentals until we can rectify the plumbing
The plumbing
pipe issue.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Councilwoman Downing? Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not for, you had a question for one of the reports? Okay, well, stand by, Councilwoman Downing.
I was confused with the flyer because it said the deadline, but then it said,
Yes,
there was some restrictions, so is it ongoing? Or for announcement?
it was a typo. All right. Councilwoman Downing, you have the floor.
All right, Councilwoman Downing, public safety, as I stated before, taking the Neighborhood Planning Academy coursework that is very informative, and you can apply on the Pocket Planning website for the next cohort. Very informative information for all of us. The second thing is, I attended the court hearing for Mr. Hamilton, because Mr. Hamilton's establishment, I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but it is located on the face of Fairmount House, which is, on Sheriff Road. It used to be Hamilton's Bail Bond, some people know it as, it used to be Wonderful Carryout, also used to be, the barbershop. What we are impacted by is the lack of jobs that Mr. Hamilton has brought into our community. Another other than Mr. Pinkney, other than class for, neighborhood planning, what else? I think that will be all. I'm gonna let you all have the rest of your evening back. Thank you.
Thank you. And the mayor's report. So, thank you, Vice Chair Barnhart, for hosting the town meeting for me for October. I had to have a medical procedure done where I was under anesthesia, and they asked that I not make any important decisions after that. So, my trusty vice mayor had to step up for me. On September 20th, I attended College Park's Hispanic Heritage event. It was a very nice event. They had a live band, they had popcorn, they had cotton candy, they had snow cones, they had movies for the kids, and I would love to host an event like that next year, so we got to start working on that. I also attended the bike rodeo as a non-bike rider. I enjoyed seeing the kids race the raceway that they created. It was awesome. We had one little girl that crashed out, but she got right back on that bike and kept riding, so I admired that young lady, if she's listening. And we ultimately, I think 25 to 30 bikes were donated, and we got rid of all but maybe one or two. So kids went home very happy that day. I also attended the Black Mayor's meeting where they had a guest speaker who talked about voting, and they told us to come back and encourage everyone to create your voting plan, whether you're going to do the mail-in ballot, whether you're going to do early voting, or whether you're going to vote in person. Have your plan in place. So be prepared to vote. And she also talked about electoral colleges. It was very informative. On September 29th, I spoke at First Baptist Church of Fairmount Heights, and I was requesting volunteers and support for the food giveaway on the first and second Sundays of each month. So if anybody in the town would like to participate or volunteer, you are welcome to come. And the food has been really good. I don't know if anybody in here has gotten any, but it's some good food, and they get it from Harris Teeter. I don't know why I keep taking these glasses.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, I'm sorry. Trader Joe's. On October 4th, the town of Fairmount Heights, along with Capitol Heights, hosted a Hispanic Heritage event for the kids. We didn't get a large turnout, so I encourage the families in this community, please start sending your kids around for kid-friendly events. We had a nice setup. They played a movie, they had popcorn, they had all types of treats and desserts, and it was nice for the kids. On October 5th, we hosted our third policy review meeting here at the town hall, and we are working on the ethics policy to update that. Our next scheduled meeting, I believe, is November 12th at 9 a.m. I will be providing food, so please come out and support that. On October 7th, myself, St. John, and town resident Mrs. Turner attended County Exec Alsobrooks Mayor Breakfast. It was some good eats. St. John just started working out, so she didn't eat as much as we did, but I definitely ate enough for the both of us. Thank you for attending that event with me. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions on any of the reports that were presented tonight? No? Okay. Let's go down the agenda. Under unfinished business, we have LED signs. I would like to put a pause on that, if it pleases the council, just until Susan can get back with us on the write-up, so that we can make the selection of the colors and do everything we need to do and select the sign officially. The Aspen Street alleyways, I would also like to request that we put a pause on that until we can find out from Congressman Ivy if that money, that Wild Wild West money he was talking about, could be applied to that project. I would accept a motion to purchase the sea containers. I think we have that. One was for 1,800, no, I'm sorry, 1,080, and the other one was for $1,574. I'll accept the motion to purchase those two items for Public Works.
I move that we purchase the items for Public Works, the sea containers for the amount of $1,980. The other one is for $1,574.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. All right. Now, council members, you have at your station 2 voting ballots. One is for to fill the vacant council seat, and one is to switch Councilwoman Downing from Public Safety to Senior Committee. So go ahead and do those votes now. We only have one candidate, as you can see on this form here. And then Susan, once we do it, Susan will tally it.
We doing a half fold, a full fold, what we doing?
Half fold is fine. Councilwoman Downing, I'm not sure how you can vote because you're not in the building. If you would like, you can call Susan and to cast your vote on your behalf, if that's okay with you. Councilman Oscar, can you pass the 2 ballots from Downing Station so that, are you going to call Susan?
She said, yeah, she said, okay.
Only if it's needed.
So you're not going to vote, yes or no?
If it's needed, I'm fairly confident it will be unanimous.
You can't, you either vote or you don't vote. Okay. You abstain, okay. All right. Madam Treasurer, can you read the results when you get them? Is this a vote? I'm sorry, that was one more. It's like an election right here, isn't it? Do you have everybody? It should be 5 papers. Should be 5 of each, right? They voted for the person. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the first one do the vacant council seat ballot. Please cast your vote on the following candidates. His name is Patricia Waiters. So we have 1 vote for Patricia Waiters, 2 votes for Patricia Waiters. Is that gonna do it?
Mm-hmm, that's fine.
3 for Patricia Waiters, 4 for Patricia Waiters, 5 for Patricia Waiters.
Thank you. So 5 votes, it's unanimous. Yeah. Welcome back to the council. All right, we'll do your swearing in at next month's meeting. Okay. All right.
Senior Committee Liaison ballot. Councilmember recommendation for Councilman Sherry Downing? No. 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 Recommendation for Councilman Sherry Downing? Yes.
So 4 noes
And 1 yes.
and 1 yes. So that motion has not been approved. Councilwoman Downing, you will remain at Public Safety. Now, once Ms. Waiters is on the council, you can request a switch with her if she would like, or switch with any other council members, but currently you will have to stay in the Public Safety position. Thank you, Susan. Where's my agenda? All right. So we didn't have anything under, under new business. We now open the floor to public comments. And again, 3 minutes is your time, sir.
And residents of town of Fairmount Heights. My name is Alex Logan, and I'd like to give you a little spill, simple spill. I'm not going to keep you all here. I'm not going to go over 30 minutes or so. But
Get 3, sir.
I'm here first and foremost to serve the people of County Council District 5. And just wanted to let you all know that I'll be running and hope to get your support. And I commend all your efforts for making this town beautiful in the way that it is. So let's give a round of applause again for all your efforts. Strong representation is key, and I'm committed to doing so. Building relationships, meaningful relationships. I heard all sides, your reports, how you're going to raise the money. I have a lot of, vision about doing that. A lot of things that we can put our heads together. And as your next county council member, we can do this. I have a background in real estate development. Talking to my colleague over here, I have a background in banking, finance. I have a background that comes pretty comprehensive. And I believe that we can have a strong relationship, and we can talk about getting to work. Forget about the election, okay? we can get to work. We can start putting things together, and I'll be able to sit down with you, toe to toe, eye to eye, and be that voice to help you make things happen. And the credit goes to the town, to you all who are putting the work in. I just want to be that voice and that collaborative effort to do so. The other thing is, other initiatives, I want to lay out as far as platform, job creation. I'm sure that, the economy here is not getting better. And one of the things is bringing jobs, bringing businesses. I come from different areas throughout the country, including, Connecticut, New York is like a second home, Virginia, other than DC, and I have those relationships. And more importantly, we need business development, we need economic development, we need housing, we need some serious, significant space for people to be able to afford to live here and throughout the district, which are about 12 or 14 areas, towns, and cities. So with that, I'm here as a resource. Please call upon me. I'm Al Slocum, and the relationship goes beyond any election. I want to make this long-term and meaningful, and above and beyond, get your town on the map, get the money that you need to be able to do some of the fixtures that you described. So, and we can do that. And I'm very happy to be here and be able to speak in front of all of you distinguished people. Thank you.
Thank you. Right on time.
Are you leaving us with cards?
Ed, do you have any cards?
Are you leaving us with any business cards?
You leaving us any business cards or contact cards?
I don't, you can take, I have a virtual. She's
Okay.
asking my parents.
You can give that to our communications.
I'll leave
liaison.
one.
Okay. Is there anybody else in the building that would like to speak for public comment? Ms. Joyce?
It should take about a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not rushing you.
Okay.
What you got to say?
Okay. All right. This is written kind of small. To the citizens of Fairmount Heights, I have served as the Vice President of the Fairmount Heights Citizens Association for the past 6 years. I have enjoyed, engaged with many of you through our outreach events during this period. I have worked in a steadfast manner to improve our community and the lives of our neighbors. My goal has always been to unite, not divide. Unfortunately, due to threats, due to manners outside of my control, I am stepping down as Vice President effective immediately. With warm regards, Joyce White.
Oh, Ms. Joyce, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and have public? Yes, unfortunately you do, Ms. Morgan. Thank you for your service, Ms. Joyce. Thank you.
It's Mima.
State your name and what street you live on for the record.
My name is Jacqueline Morgan. I am a citizen, live on 5516 K Street. That's in the townhouses, if anybody doesn't know. I'd just like to make 2 statements. I'd like to commend Public Works on the good job that they have done, especially with the bulk trash, because I know they don't get a lot of, yays. The other statement is, I want everybody to know on record that Ms. Downey does not speak for all the residents on K Street. She only has a handful. So if anything comes out, she needs to contact all the citizens on K Street if she's going to take that road. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to say something? Come on up. Councilwoman Waiters.
It's gonna be quick. Hopefully. You put in time, This is a report. I'm sorry. So, good evening, everyone. It has been said over and over and over again, and I just want to reiterate and say thank you for participation, support with the bicycle safety rodeo. And I just wanted to just slightly mention the Partners Bicycle for the Safety Rodeo, which were the Prince George's County Arts and Humanities Council who did the interactive art display, Wabba Washington Area Bike Association that did the safety courses for us. Of course, our own Mr. Cradle, Public Works, Public Safety, Mayor, Mr. Rumi, Councilmember St. John who was there. I owe you pictures of you all. I also, Mayor, wanted to mention that I owe you pictures of the National Night Out as well.
Okay.
I need to figure out how to get those to you. And so I wanted to also say that we gave out, the mayor's mentioned, over 25 bicycles with helmets, prizes. We had food there, and then we provided safety training. Usually with various different events and or programs that take place, when you're planning, it's what do we want to do? What did we do and what could we have done better? So the bicycle rodeo takes place usually in May. I do think that we would have had more participation had the outreach to the schools was missing because it didn't take place. It was canceled in May. So it will take place again in May of 2025. For the learning experience, these kids are knocking on my door. So I had a question that was asked. I was raised with 6 boys. And they were asking me, how do you know how to fix bikes? I have installed brakes, front and back, checked chains and all the above. But I want to share with Chief, he's gone. One of the neighbors, has an added fact to what we're doing and involving youth and giving them something to do and looking out for those that want to participate and can't. Got a complaint about them knocking on the door and running and throwing acorns. At someone's door, knocking on the door, running, just to be funny. Okay. So I got my eye on them. I'm just asking that you guys watch them too. They're like the ones that you have to watch for in the community as a whole, a village raising our youth. So I just wanted to mention that and thank everyone for supporting the effort, and see you next year.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're
for your
welcome.
comment.
And the helmets.
Oh, the helmet.
Two.
I will not forget to give you.
All right. We're still giving out helmets.
All right.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Mr. Cradle rode up on his motorcycle. What is that? I took a picture. He rode up on his motorcycle. Yes. What is that? Z9. Okay. So yeah.
And I would like to, I know this is citizens participation, but I would personally like to thank Mr. Cradle because the popcorn machine we had broke, and him and I took it apart, and he figured out how to Jimmy rig it so we could have popcorn. So thank you for that, Mr. Cradle. Is there anyone else for citizens participation in the building? Okay. And how about online?
No questions online. And no questions on.
All right. So if there are no more for citizens participation, do we have any announcements that need to be made?
I had something that I completely. Yeah, so aside from there's the actual flyer for the Town of Fairmount Heights Harvest Party. So again, it's there October 26th from 4:30 to 7:30. If you'd like to learn how you can volunteer or donate, please contact Councilmember Oscar or Councilmember Vice Chair Barnhart so that you can get that done. Also, I am not able to share the flyer, but I'm sorry, give me 1 second. It is posted on our town page. So as you guys know, we've been talking a little bit about the tri-municipalities. The town of Capitol Heights is currently hosting a domestic violence panel. This is taking place on October the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at their town hall. It's a domestic panel discussion, and they will have a total of actually 8 panelists that will be there. So it's an important event of education, support, advocacy. They're addressing the impact of domestic violence. You'll hear from experts, survivor advocates, and local leaders committed to creating change. There'll be some keynote speakers. And they'll also be, able to get people connected in the right place for resources. There'll be legal experts, law enforcement, and as well as spiritual support there. So if you know anyone, if you'd like to attend, it'll be from 6:30 to 8:30 at the town hall for Capitol Heights. Make sure I clarify that.
All right, I'd like to add one more announcement. First Baptist Church of Fairmount Heights is celebrating their 112th year anniversary, starting tonight up until Sunday. I will be going to the service on Sunday just to close out the celebration. So if you have time, please stop by and enjoy the festivities.
What time is it?
10 o'clock on Sunday. Ms. Gladden had a question. She wanted to know, will the event flyer and other events be distributed to the residents in addition to online?
Yes.
Yes, they should have already gone out, but however, if you did not receive them, Ms. Gladden, I will make sure Public Works hits your street again.
If I'm not mistaken, Harvest Party went out with bulk trash, but I need Mr.
It did.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
Yep,
verify
it
with
went out
Public
already.
Works to make sure they got them, and we apologize that you didn't receive those notifications.
Yep,
All right.
and all flyers are still being disseminated until we have concluded the survey.
All right. If there are no more announcements, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night. Thank you, everyone. Whew. She heard.
That's like
Hey.
2 in a row.
I be reaching my hand out like, no, I can't do it.
All right, nice to meet you. And you, virtual, somebody has the information?
No, you gonna send it to my communication.
Yeah, let me have it. Are you on, you want to give it to me. Are you on social media as well, IG page or anything?
I told y'all.
Virtual card?
Okay. Okay, yep. You got any social media presence yet?
Yeah, I have my Facebook page, and I have just recently.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan,
Yeah,
for
I do.
saying what you said. We appreciate that.
That's the one you're supposed to have. Okay, what's, so we can follow you.
Okay, I'll be here. I'll text you and let you know as soon as I get out the door. All right, come on, let's get downstairs. I gotta get home. Yeah.
There we go. Right there, all right, now it's now following. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Roomy, don't run from me.
Is it this one right here? Oh, no, looks like that one's been established.
All right, come on, let's run down there right now and come right back. Give me 5 seconds. Don't leave, y'all. I'm coming right back.
Just in case. It's very informational.
You got any underscores or marks on it? Oh, Facebook, I'm on IG. Okay. Okay.
That's who I get my information. So I'm gonna put his name on it. And give it to Susan, so that can be done.
There's only one certified, all of us, right?
Yeah, all of us.
There we go. Got one right there. All right. Now I'm on to follow.
And then just make sure you got that.
Yep. And then, nope, let me do that one.
Hey, we're trying to get the stuff. What stuff we buying for the event?
So,
Perfect.
Costco
Taking long.
pizza, the pizza
Oh,
is
we're
cheap.
already following.
Costco
Okay,
big
awesome.
pizza is $10.
Yep.
Last but not least.
Okay, that's
Okay,
cheap.
and then, yep, let's
Yes, you know what
do
pizza
that.
costs?
And then,
$20.
so